March
once again
2012,
for the
on the
recording of
outskirts
this
of
game.
Splendora, Texas, USA, a postal worker came across an abandoned lot.
Oh, go on.
The
Talk to
area
Uncle
was
Nelly.
caked in trash, and stranded in the
Uncle
middle was a
Nelson.
broken old school bus with its windows blacked out.
You
Two
high?
bedraggled children were playing in
Are
the
you
field
high?
there without an adult in sight. Alarmed, he
Okay.
immediately called the authorities, who arrived on the
With
scene
Benji's
and
help,
took the
you'll be able
kids
to
into
move,
child
because
welfare custody. It turns out
first time
they've
to
been
start
living in the
manufacturing and
ranch
selling
of a
higher
bus
value
for
products.
3 whole
Buy
months.
different seed
They were
strains
taken
while we'll
care
include more
of
unique
by a
products
woman
release station
believed
to
to be
station.
their great
Yeah.
aunt. Though care
Tish
is a
died, but
generous
you got it.
word. The children weren't enrolled in any school,
Ain't got
and
to
when
gas,
she left to
man.
work her 12-hour shift, she'd leave
Fucking
them
hell,
alone all day.
bullshit.
Neighbors even
Well,
recalled
actually,
seeing the kids wandering around outside
deposit
in
me
the
cash
dark.
and then boom.
So where were their parents? Well, they'd both been in prison
Deposit.
for embezzling money from Hurricane Ike victims in
Here's Benji
2008.
to do some
Damn.
cash.
Inside the bus wasn't all bad.
How
It
about
had a bathroom,
200?
electricity, internet access,
You
TV,
have-
air conditioning, and bunk beds for the
Oh.
children. Apparently, it was
How
only
about-
supposed to be a temporary
Yes, ma'am.
home while an actual house was being built
How
on the
about-
site. Regardless,
I own
leaving
the
young
bus.
kids on their own in any circumstance is totally inexcusable. That story was a lot. Time to release some tension.
Oh, yeah.
We all love
20.
toilet time, but in 2006, 35-year-old Pam Babcock
So.
from Ness City, Kansas took it to the extreme. After fighting with her boyfriend one day, Pam hid in the bathroom of his mobile home and refused to come out. Hours became days, weeks became months, and Pam only got more elusive. It became part of the couple's daily routine. She'd wash in the bath and change her clothes while her boyfriend, 36-year-old Gary McFerrin, would bring her food and drink. They'd chat about ordinary things, and every day he'd ask her to come out of the bathroom, but she'd always reply, maybe tomorrow. And at some point, she moved on to the toilet and refused to get off. She sat there for over a month, barely moving, and the effect it had on her body was horrifying. Think about how numb your bum gets from sitting in the same place for a couple of hours. Well, a month was 730 hours. The prolonged pressure of sitting on the seat for so long made her skin begin to blister, and as the wounds healed, her skin started growing around the toilet seat. This damaged the nerves in her legs, which, along with her immobility, caused them to waste away. Oh man. It all came to a head when in February 2008, Corey found Pam groggy and lethargic. Enough was enough. After 2 years in the bathroom, a worried Corey finally called the authorities, which is 2 years too late if you ask me. When police arrived, they were shocked. Pam insisted she was fine and didn't want to leave, but this time she had no choice. Whipping out a crowbar, the cops removed the entire toilet seat with her still attached and rushed her to the hospital, where doctors painstakingly removed it from her body. But why would someone do this to themselves? Sadly, Pam had a traumatic childhood filled with abuse and likely suffered from agoraphobia, a fear of situations where escape might be difficult or help unavailable. It often causes anxiety about leaving the house, only Pam took it a step further. The bathroom was the one place where she felt safe. As to why Corey didn't ask for help sooner, he said, she's an adult. She made her own decision. After a while, you kind of get used to it. Right. Subsequently, Corey was charged for mistreatment of a dependent adult and sentenced to 6 months probation. Pam was released from hospital after months of treatment, though the trail goes cold when it comes to what happened to her after. Some say her legs deteriorated so much that she could no longer walk and has remained in a wheelchair, but without any clear evidence, I can't say for sure. Now, if you were traveling from New Delhi railway station sometime between 1975 and 1985 and decided to rest in the waiting lounge, you would have been met with quite the sight. Living there was the Mahal family. Mother Willett, Mahal, her 2 children, their 7 servants, and 13 watchdogs. So, what were they all doing there? Well, Willett persistently claimed that she was Indian royalty, a descendant of the long-deposed house of Oud. Oud, or Awadh, was once a Shia Muslim kingdom in northern India with the capital of Lucknow as its base. But by 1856, it all went to pot when it was annexed by the British Empire. Oud's governor at the time, Wajid Ali Shah, was stripped of his land and exiled. Fast forward to the 1970s, and Willett declared she was a descendant of the old Celeste Kingdom and vowed to wait in the station's VIP waiting room as a form of protest until her ancestral properties were returned. She had the lounge draped in all the finery you'd expect from royalty: carpets, spotted plants, a silver tea set, and Willett expected to be treated like royalty too. Even her own children called her Your Highness. If someone wished to speak to her, they would be told to write it down on a note. A servant would then deliver it to her on a silver platter and read the message aloud. Her occupation of the lounge was illegal, but any railway official was quickly chased off by her dog when she had any eviction attempt with a threat to down a bottle of snake venom. That's one way of dealing with it. Even so, throughout these years, the government insisted that she had no right to a palace, plus her actual claim to a Wood lineage was shaky at best. Nonetheless, many Shia Muslims in Lucknow were convinced and moved to tears by the return of their queen. This, it turns out, was all it took. Officials feared the wrath of the Shias in Lucknow, yet they thought that their queen was being mistreated, and in 1984 finally yielded, offering her 10,000 rupees to buy a home. A lot of money at the time. She said it was too little, so they offered her a 4-bedroom house. She said it was too small. For her stubbornness, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi awarded the family Malka Mahal, a redstone hunting lodge on the edge of New Delhi built way back in the 1200s. But it was far from a happily ever after. The house was a dark, crumbling relic with no electricity, lost in the forest far from any community. Willett and her 2 children lived there in poverty until one by one they passed away and the Mahal lineage was no more. Yet there's more to this story. In 2019, New York Times journalist Ellen Berry investigated the family and met the last remaining member, Prince Cyrus, before his death. Berry discovered that despite their very heavy insistence, the family were of no relation to royalty at all. It turns out William was actually a housewife from India who moved to Lahore, Pakistan after the partition of India, when India became 2 countries. Heck, Prince Cyrus's real name was Mickey Butt. If that's so, why did Willett protest in a train station for 10 years? Well, after moving to Lahore, Willett longed for the country of her childhood. She also had a history of mental illness. After her husband died, she'd spent 6 months in a mental hospital. Once she was released, she adopted her new persona as Queen of Oud and gave her kids ones to match. Then she packed up all her belongings and returned to India. But wait, if she wasn't really a royal, how do you explain all the servants and her dogs? Well, the servants were probably volunteers who also longed for the India of old and bought into Willett's story. She was very persuasive. As for all the dogs, in all likelihood they were just strays that she took in and cared for. Man, what an amazing story. But let's crank that creepy factor up now. In 2008, in the town of Kasuya, Japan, a 57-year-old man was living alone in his house, except he was confused. Over the past few months, food had been mysteriously disappearing from his kitchen. Suspecting he was being burgled, he set up a CCTV camera to spy on the room at night. When he looked back at the footage, what he saw made him sick to his stomach. That camera feed showed a strange woman creeping through his home in the dead of the night. Anyone else just shudder? Terrified, the guy called the cops and proceeded to search his place. After sliding open a shelf closet, they found her. A 58-year-old woman curled up on a mattress. The police immediately arrested her for trespassing. She told authorities that she was homeless and quite simply had nowhere else to go. So one night, she'd snuck into his house after he'd left it unlocked and ended up living there undetected for around a year. If nothing else, that's impressively stealthy. This story has been misattributed online in many articles and forums with screenshots from a whole different video from 15 years ago. Turns out the images are from footage posted by You Know It Joe in New York back in November 2009. The footage is from a hidden camera Joe had set up where he caught a mysterious woman skulking around his apartment in the twilight hours. Ugh, that's seriously creepy. Worst of all, he caught her stealing his food and urinating in his sink. In June 2025, he posted update videos from shortly after that first clip. Apparently, she made a mess for herself in the loft, and as he climbed up to confront her, she lunged at him, throwing him back off the ladder. Jesus. She was escorted away by police, and her identity remains a mystery to this day. His update videos go into more detail as he admits he didn't know her, but the police thought she was there for a few weeks and probably snuck in through the window to rob him. They even said this wasn't the first time something like this has happened. Remind me to install CCTV in my apartment. Still, it's nowhere near as bad as this next story. In 2012, in the city of Rock Hill, South Carolina, USA, Tracy was a single mom taking care of her 5 kids. She kept hearing banging noises coming from her attic, but assumed it was just an animal. Then one time, she was in her room when she heard a mighty thump from above. Nails popped out of the ceiling and started falling onto her bed, making her wonder if the house was haunted. The truth was much more disturbing. She asked her older sons and nephew to go up to the attic to see what was there. Peering into the darkness, they saw something move. It was a man sleeping on a makeshift bed made of coats and jackets. Only this wasn't just any random homeless guy. It was Tracy's ex from 12 years ago. She'd broken up with him back then because of his addiction issues and troubles with crime. Heck, he'd only been released from prison 2 weeks earlier, and how on earth he managed to sneak his way into the house, let alone the attic, is anyone's guess. The family called the police immediately, but by the time they arrived, the attic ex had fled. Investigating the scene, the cops found bottles filled with feces and urine. Ugh. Worst of all, right above Tracy's room, there was a peephole where he'd been spying on her. Jesus. As far as I know, the man is still on the run. As for Tracy and her family, they couldn't bear to sleep at night for weeks. And honestly, I don't blame them. Now for our final and most insane story. It was 1999 when developers built Providence Place Mall in an effort to revitalize the Rhode Island city. As it was being constructed, a young local artist called Miguel used to walk past the site every day. Only one day he noticed something unusual. A section of the site didn't make sense. Right by the river, there were 2 large walls that almost touched, but not quite, leaving a gap in the middle that led to a large spot where nothing was going on. It looked like some sort of design accident, a strange space that existed purely because of the angles of the other purposely designed areas around it. Weird as it was, Miguel didn't think much of it and walked on by. But 4 years after the mall was finished, a second set of developers decided that the city's historic district would be the perfect place to revitalize next. Unfortunately, they wanted to tear down the building Miguel lived in to do so. While being displaced would kill most people's motivation, the devastating event actually hit Miguel with a bolt of inspiration, and he returned to that weird void he'd spotted all those years ago. Even though the room was undeniably narrow, it was at least 900 square feet. That's bigger than the average size of a 1-bedroom apartment in New York City. This meant that Miguel was sitting on some prime yet completely free real estate right in the middle of the mall. The hidden space was more perfect than Miguel could have dreamed, and upon seeing how much potential it had, he told his other displaced friends about it and they decided to live there. They cleaned the room up there, brought gallons of water, tinned food, and power cords, and then decorated the place with furnishings. With a stroke of ingenuity, they installed a plain utility door to conceal the entrance, making the entire setup look like any other innocuous storage space from the outside. The only thing they were missing was running water, but thanks to the mall's late-night movie theater, even nighttime trips to the toilet didn't look that suspicious. All in all, they had the perfect home. By blending in with the flow of crowds visiting the mall, they could move most of their stuff into this place in broad daylight. They fully expected that mall cops would eventually find them, but as the days turned into weeks and the months turned into years, security never once came knocking. Except one day they returned to the apartment only to discover they'd been well and truly rumbled. Their utility door had been kicked in and their games console had been stolen along with some of their art and a photo album. Weirdly though, nothing else of value had been taken. Not the TV, not the silverware, just the really personal stuff. It became stomach-churningly clear that this wasn't any ordinary break-in, and the worst part was that it was clear someone else knew about the room. While time passed, the break-in remained unsolved, so the illegal tenants decided to only enter or leave at night. One day, however, Miguel brought a visiting friend over and couldn't help but give her the full tour of their unique home. But just as they were about to leave and Miguel opened the door, 3 security guards suddenly stormed in and detained him on the spot. It turned out that 2 mall cops had discovered the room and were responsible for the earlier break-in. Instead of clearing everything out, they'd taken personal items so that they could try and identify the culprits. Clearly, they'd been stuck at the entrance waiting for someone to return on their watch. And the foolish decision to visit during the day meant Miguel's project was about to come to a crashing halt. Miguel was sent to criminal court where the prosecution brought out a long list of charges including breaking and entering and felony trespass. However, the judge was less concerned with the charges and more impressed by Miguel's sheer audacity. So impressed was he that the judge eventually declared that the creation of the apartment was not a criminal act. Instead of a hard time or a hefty fine, he handed Miguel a misdemeanor for trespassing and sent him on his way. This slap on the wrist was nothing short of a miracle. Somehow Miguel had lived on and off in the mall for years, and even though he'd been caught, it cost him absolutely nothing. But it didn't mean he walked away unscathed. Miguel was banned from the mall and even now still isn't allowed to step foot near his old home. That's it. If you liked this video, be sure to check out People Start Living in Bizarre Places for even more crazy tales. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.
The screen tip. I can still see it on the OBS. Let me see what. Turn right, it's down here. Not you now. Yo. I know, bruv. Is it you? Oh, it's you, Great Doris. Try it. Very nice. Right. No thanks, and fuck you. I've got 5 left on me. Need to unpay all of it. I would like to purchase something. 6 bags of that. 180. 60 bags. And what was it all given? Large packing station about 2, that's what I do need. Then that's it. Let's do the outdoors. Right, Albert, yes, I know you're fucking. Yes, you received it. Back off. Right, 2 green crack, 2 sour diesel, 2 OG Kush. Right. 60 bags. We've got more. Which I'll probably get in a minute. Stack. Oh shit, I've got all this and all. One needs soil. You. Wait till I get a botanist. To make life so much easier. You! Soil. Oh, I should fly over it. Na, 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 na. Right, put this soil on here. I've still got some of that, so while I'm here, I'm going to plant these. Pop. So roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Water, needs water. Put my bags on there, and then 20 on there. Water, 2 litres in that. That'll be enough for what I need to do, so. Get these planted right, where are you? These two. La 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 la. Water me plants. No. Take some OG Kush. Packet. Woodland 5 I can make this more. Right, Benji's earning, that's good. Keep Benji with what he's got. Oh shit. Leave others to grow. I can sell these. I'll sell this OG Kush. La. Dead drop's ready, so I can be able to pick that up. Sell some on the way. Just depends where it is. And Kadoosh. 2 bags over here I can go. Right. Where's this dead drop? Behind the motel office. Easy. OG. I've already sat with you. Yes, but I want to say about Benji. 6 OG Kush. And then 4 OG Kush. Use it. Right, Benji, where are you? I'll give you this sour diesel. $800. Oh, fucking hell, he's running low. Running low. Labash. Basket. Oh, that next door's which I'm on my way home. Make them deals. You already know you're there. 3 spaces, so 60. Cheers, Dan.
Using bags versus jars versus, and I was so like into The game is not nearly as strict and regimented and following rules as I thought it would be. Like I even thought, well, if I don't have anything for my workers to do, they're gonna leave at one point. That's not if they don't work. They still make money, but they'll still stay around even if you don't have the money for them. Like I was writing about things.
Hello. Over here. I already want 6 in it. Yeah. I'm dealing. I should give this last bit of OG Kush to Benji actually. And he can sell that. So I've got it off market now for me send. Take these OG Kush ball. Then get them.
You think he's in the church? Should I knock on his door? Should we knock on the house of worship with pockets laced with lead? This is in his house.
Right. Labash. Oh, wrong one. Do.
It's 3 p.m., bro.
Yeah, maybe weed on here, but 2, 4, 6. Let's just tell them actually, and the others will be ready. The other ones will be ready. That's our diesel and making the green. Benji's dealing for me, so.
Everyone's out today. Hey, boys. Hello? Anybody want to buy some? Who's going door to door selling meth? Hello? Anybody like to buy some meth? Hello?
Sour diesel. Roll up new packing station. I get told them 5. Fuck with me. Where's that other bungalow? Because I've got a fucking. Excuse me. Set up in half for that.
Actually, let's go find Jane.
That would be mixed as much as I get the mixing station Mark 2 because that makes life easier. So at it in 20 minutes, boom. Yeah, you can do 10 in a minute here, but fucking hell. I ain't got to put the shit in my send. You know, packing stations actually. Dush. Get handlers, both. How you do that? I can fucking put a chemistry mixing. Alright, and that.
Before I sleep, I want to get this new dealer done before the end of the episode. I can't knock on this door. Oh, it's this one. Just to guarantee success. Fuck's sake! 81%! Oh my god, this guy is twisting my fucking balls this episode. He is the worst. Every single thing that's been going on in my life for this episode.
Is there any more potential customers? I'll check that out. I'll have to look after this. This off to Benji.
40 seconds.
Nah. Dealer. Mr. Delia Girl. Right. Green crack here coming up.
They finally got through it all. When you're ready, please deposit 800 of my... Oh! Who knows what you existed? I haven't done that in a while. Oops. Actually, why is he asking for it now? I haven't interacted in fucking ages.
proceed.
Hopefully they never bring in a thing that you can actually kill people, like your workers, and then they're just gone forever. That would be terrible.
Pop goes the diesel. Really hard work that one. Holy shit. There we go.
So I guess I could buy
Give me that.
more pseudo after this, and acid and stuff.
I've got a bit of a system going here.
I think I'll just get an orders to the place. So much stuff that I don't really care. You can do like, I think in a vat you can do 320, but this thing costs fucking lot. Yeah, let's get some baggies as well, actually. Some barn and dock too, so I don't run over my guys and kill them all. For those $5 grand, you can save a lot of money by not doing that, but also it's the convenience. I'm throwing around my money because I have it.
When I get to the workplace, I'll not need the lattering camera like that because the others will fucking do it for me, the botanist.
So disorganized.
I can get the soil
Supplies to go
right.
flirt with Harold. And I need to go get 320 batteries. That's a full van's worth. And then I'll leave my van
Who's the guy?
So now I'm a man on a Harold mission. Brad, give me money. Give me like $16 million. It's not 16 million, but
Making green. Now what?
it's enough for me not to break your leg, Brad.
I've got the cash. Just ain't got the shares.
Where does he go? Back to his house? Wait, what? Oh.
Shit, I need to pay Albert anyway, but
Jeepers. Oh, yeah, he's way to church. There he is. What day pass? What's happening? Is that not supposed to happen?
you know what I say? Fuck you. Fucking pearls anyway. So then purchase something. Oh, they're in there. Make a pearls with that. 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 Make one pearl with them. Another one with dudes. Make 2 strings like that. Nice and fresh mouthwash. History, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, she was real happy with me.
Fat Dragon Chinese restaurant.
Harold, you want to try once more, Harold?
They're growing nicely, so 1 set, 2 set, 3 set, 2nd set.
God damn it, I hate him so much. He's the worst character in the game. He's sitting in NPC form. Ugh.
See, aye. You're in. But this is where we're in this episode. Barely how it's been happening, but I'm just over 3 grand away from doing this. Wow. Save that shit.
Okay.
Oh, I do do need to do.
How much do I have?
No.
There's no double slots, right?
Yeah,
There's only one slot.
episode 1 now.
That's good, because sometimes they fuck it up. And they put in like 2 acids and 2 phosphorus.
That's that one. And this is where I'm going to end it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for at least putting up with me being shit at this, but oh my god. If I had more time I'd make longer episodes, but didn't record when it to work. But thanks for watching, I'm out. Bye bye.